clearly still many mysteries abound, but it's nice to know someone at least has a bit of a grip as to what's going on. But that's none of Estelle's concern right now. And there are the two passengers we're following. Back in Grand Cell. Training over, and now, well, I guess we'll find out what our next step is. Tell me about it. I really hate plane flights in real life. It sucks that Australia is extremely far from pretty much everywhere except Asia, so... yeah, I've got really long flights if I want to go to places like Europe or even America. It's also probably why a ton of famous YouTubers rarely ever visit Australia, because, yeah, very long flights here. Well, you're about to set out on a journey to bring Joshua back, and also time for actual work as a full bracer, officially. Well, she grew that much over the course of FC, though. Mystery Creepos. Yes, that's the official name for them. Yeah, Annalise kind of sums up what I was saying earlier. Kind of a good way to put it, but hopefully she's ready. You're already, like, kinda up the mountain in a way. And continuing the metaphor, I see. And so, no need to waste time walking, we are straight there. Okay, so provided I did everything right, I should have 16 BP now. $16, good, okay. And with that, we advance to G+ rank and get the silver chain, which is a better silver earring, I'm pretty sure. Well, hopefully there are less drastic, disguised Jaeger training methods there. The next time. Maybe it's a good thing Kurt is still there. Ugh. Yeah. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are very angry to find out that was all just a training exercise, especially with how tough Kurt was. So maybe it's a good thing that Kurt's still there. However, we are down Cassius, so all of us are going to have to really pull our weight. Oh, yeah, Annalise is saying that right now. Yeah, he's now Brigadier General Bright. I'm actually not sure if he was called that in the initial translation of this game. I heard the localizers actually did a huge sweep of this game in a patch and actually rewrote a lot of the army terminology so that it actually made functional sense. Wow, well, I would say that's impressive that he gives the full reign to a forward bracer, but then again, the entire reason he hated braces in the first place was because Cassius left the army. I think it's actually quite the opposite, Estelle. Everyone else is doomed. Yeah, the problem is, though, he's not going to be able to bail us out, because he's gained the busy quirk, to use the terminology of a certain tabletop RPG. It's kind of funny, they give that quirk to, like, all characters who would be really overpowered and would break the story if they could get involved freely. Yeah, the fact they haven't made any significant moves is even more suspicious. Now, this bit's also really interesting. Another common trope of RPG sequels, the monsters suddenly getting stronger everywhere to compensate for you being stronger. I think one of the most ridiculous examples of this is Pokemon Black and White 2, where you go back to like Route 1 and 2 around those areas of the starting town in the original games, and all of the Pokemon are like in the 60s because you can only get there after the Elite Four. But in this game, it's actually justified. Existing monsters have become far more vicious and powerful thanks to the society's meddling. This also means we're going to have our hands full with more monster requests. Yep, that was about the point things started getting, yeah, weird. Maybe the device towers being activated has something to do with it. So yeah, the response would be, well, lots more monster quests. And hey, it's Shera and Agate too. And with that, we have pretty much every bracer currently on active duty LeBurle in this room, which is kind of sad. Of course, Agate's a jerk, he doesn't get it. He just gets a high. Of course, everyone knows about what happened with Joshua by now. Estelle always gets back on her feet quickly. That's one thing that's great about her. What Agate says is actually going to be very true, though. Well, let's hope Agate doesn't kick us off the case like he did last time. True, they like to hide evidence of their existence from the general public. That's a great line. Hence the chapter title, I suppose. We are basically grasping at shadows. If they really are as bad as we think, one partner is nowhere near enough. And I think you see where this is going. Well, obviously, we're always up to chase down leads in the society, considering that'll bring us closer to Joshua. And, well, looking for the society on your own is probably bound to get you killed, so strength in numbers. Estelle, stop being surprised about you taking the leadership role. You played a big role in stopping Colonel Richard in the last game. she has a point there. Annalise can actually dispense words of wisdom sometimes. Emphasis on sometimes. Big emphasis on sometimes. So they're going to just give a bit of a summary of how they work. And also Heaven's Kiss. She begins with that, and Heaven's Kiss is amazing. There is one thing in this game that's kind of nerfed Shera though, and that's the fact that the shield line of quartz that are one of your main sources of wind elements, which is what her ornament specializes in, they lower your art strength now. So equipping those will actually make her casting weaker. This does set her back quite a bit, and gives her a pretty big disadvantage next to the other main casters in this game, so yeah. And so we actually have a choice here. So let me go over this. Whichever character you choose will be your main partner for the next 3 chapters, and you will not be able to use the one you didn't pick until chapter 4. Don't worry though, the story is not going to change at all really. You will obviously get different dialogue, as your partner will be the one to react to every situation, but the core plot and side quests don't change. This choice is much more about gameplay than it is about story. That being said, I feel the game is a little biased towards the Agate routes. This is because the regions we visit in Chapter 1 and 2, Agate has a much more personal connection to those places than Shera does, and as such, he gets a bit more dialogue during the main story. Also, the first 2 party members who join us after this particular character are both arts users, so picking Agate gives you a better party balance. And also, we're going to be getting some equipment that is either male or female exclusive coming up in the next chapter. The balance between the male and female equipment they give you kind of assumes you have Agate and not Shera. Basically, if you pick Shera, you'll have not enough female exclusive equipment to go around. So yeah, the game's a bit biased towards this option, and because of that, I think I'll be choosing this, even though from a gameplay standpoint, I would rather pick Shera. I do have a few save files from an earlier playthrough where I did pick the Shera route, so I can show some additional dialogue from her path that I like, but for this playthrough, I'll be choosing Agate. Agate actually didn't get a lot of focus in the last game, so picking him here, it does actually give him a little bit of much needed attention. And thus we have Team Shera and Annalise. And yeah, you know what that means. Sadly, Annalise is a glorified guest character. She's only fully playable for the prologue. Don't worry though, we will be getting a much larger party soon enough. But it's kind of a shame. Annalise is, yeah. She doesn't really get a lot of screen time in this chapter. She's a lot more relevant in the 3rd game overall. But at least what little time you get with her is good. Yeah, so Shera going to Rouen actually makes more sense from a story standpoint too. Like I said, the story does feel a little bit biased towards choosing Agate. Not to a particularly crazy extent, but it definitely seems to have been designed with that in mind. But I do like they do give you a bit of freedom here to choose your partner for the first 3 chapters. And yeah, of course, considering that we're going to Rouen, it makes more sense for Agate to be here. Since he actually has connections there, it's his old stomping grounds after all. And with that, we're already ready to depart. Yeah, it is kind of a shame having to say goodbye to Shera right now. I do like picking her sometimes just because she and Estelle have a lot more of a personal connection to each other than Agate does to her. But to be honest, they don't really play into that very much. The unique dialogue for the Shera route, in my opinion, is not that amazing. There's like one or two moments that I think are decent, but other than that, I like the Agate route a lot better. You know, thinking about it, I actually just remembered, Agate's variation of this goodbye scene's actually pretty good. I might show that in extra footage. Yeah, I suppose that's probably a good idea. They wouldn't be constantly reminding Estelle about him. And if I remember right, a pretty amazing moment is coming right up. Yeah, this right here. I love the separated dots there. Yep, it was just a case of very, very bad wording. No, it's fine. It's just, again, wording. Wording. It's actually sort of interesting, though, because Annalise does actually have a few moments in the third game that actually kind of imply that she might be, yeah. We'll see that in the third game. And with that, we really do have to say goodbye. And again, it's just kind of a shame that Annalise is just... like I kind of hinted, we will actually be seeing Shera again, but Annalise, she's actually not going to be really fully playable again. And once again, I can make it speed up! Only very slightly, though. Okay, down to just us then. You know, I was about to say that. Most of the stuff that you could get in here, you can also get in Rouen, so pretty fine. So for once, we're actually going to be flying on an airship. There we can see some people greeting each other. So in order to get our tickets, we actually have to go in here. Oh, hey, there's one person that we've already met. And two that we definitely haven't. Well, looks like we walked in on an argument. Oh, and it's worse than just an argument. It's political tensions between the Republic and the Empire. And LeBeau getting caught in the middle, as usual. Yeah, in the middle of a crowded airport lobby is probably not the best place to do this. You're really not helping your case there, please stop. Yeah, let's just ignore him. Let's not even try and talk. That would end very badly. Yes, her first name is really Elsa. Yeah, this game predated that movie by a while, but still. There are probably going to be jokes. Unfortunately, that's kind of... I don't know, yeah. Feels like a lot of politicians tend to be childish. Yeah, and that's not even bringing Crossbell into it. Oh, great, so you've got Manuela and Hanneman as ambassadors to two countries that have political tensions. That's not going to end well at all. Well, yeah, to be fair, some things got a little out of context, but, yeah, what's the engine they were talking about? Actually, maybe that was classified information that shouldn't have been talked about in a public space. Or not. Okay, that's good to know. Let me guess, she doesn't want the Empire getting their hands on that kind of technology. Well, Liberl has always been strong with its technology, so sharing that seems to be a good, will be good for international relations in the long run. It was at least good to see him again. Yeah, by the way, how is that guy? Yeah, last we saw of him, you were dragging him away. Oh, of course he is. Well, that place is, yeah, we probably should have rung ahead to apologize in advance to them. Well, that's good to know. We might actually need his help coming up. Yeah, that guy's definitely pretty strong. We never actually saw him fight in the last game, though. Yeah, Olivier did talk to Cassius for a little bit. We don't know what he talked about. But he did say that he was seeking out Cassius' bride. No, definitely not. That is one thing that would have been interesting to people first playing the Sky games, is that you have this big militaristic empire next to your small country, and they're actually not depicted as, like, 100% evil at all. Anyway, before we get tickets, I believe, yes, we can buy stuff from here, including Liberl News Issue 2. I would highly recommend reading that one before you arrive in the Rouen region. But I did not actually read Liberl News Issue 1. I just felt that the prologue was getting kind of intense, and it kind of wasn't really the time to read this. So let's go ahead and show this. Special, Rebuilding the Army. 2 months since the coup d'etat. It's been 2 months since the stunning fall of the Royal Army's once promising intelligence division and their failed coup d'etat. Currently, in response to their failure to prevent the rebellion by one of their own divisions, the army is undergoing a major reconstruction of their internal organisation. To find how they intend to regain the trust of the public, we got a behind-the-scenes look at their reconstruction efforts. Reconstruction changes. Under the command of General Morgan, the reformation of the Royal Army units has been proceeding swiftly. However, even our decorated general acknowledges that rebuilding the chain of command will take some time. The cause, we're told from an army source, is that the ID unit's reach had permeated all levels of command, and removing that influence has proved to be quite the task. The road to rebuilding the Royal Army. The Royal Army is determined to continue reforming whatever difficulties may arise. One such issue they face is lack of transparency. For national defense reasons, the organisation of the military has been heavily guarded, but it was this very policy that allowed the ID unit to get as far as they did. One effort to blow fresh air into the rigid army structure is the recent cooperation with the Bracer Guild. How much further the Royal Army can open up and still maintain the secrecy needed for security, though, is probably the biggest hurdle facing the rebuilding of the army. Foreign Affairs, the Queen's Peace Proposal. According to reports from the Foreign Affairs section, the Erebonian Empire, Calvard Republic, and Liberl Kingdom have all agreed to enter into a treaty of non-aggression. Preparations are already underway to host the signing of the pact following the Royal Parliament's approval of the terms proposed by Queen Alicia. Will this pact be the guiding light to peace between nations? General Morgan to resign? A change at the top of the army seems in the air, as Chief of Staff General Morgan indicated in a recent meeting that he would yield the reconstruction of the army to someone else. Signs also suggested that he will resign from the top post entirely once the army reorganization is complete. Eyes are on Cassius Bright, the general's right-hand man, to take up the reins. We will be keeping close tabs on any further developments. Well, all of that is fairly relevant right now. Let's go ahead and get our airline tickets. Yeah, unfortunately we're not really going to be making use of the international flights right now. Hey, nice! Our flights are already paid for! I feel like they actually have to do that from a gameplay standpoint, because on the off chance that you don't have any mirror right now, since you're in the middle of a long string of cutscenes, there's actually no way to get any more mirror, really. Oh well, I guess you can sell stuff at the shop there, but... on the off chance you'd sold everything somehow and use up all your mirror, yeah, this would have to be free, otherwise you wouldn't be able to progress. Okay, so we need to check in at the receptionist. And if you were getting any ideas, you actually can't explore Grancel right now. You have to go straight to Rouen on the airship. Right now, the only thing that we can buy is the Liberl News Issue 2, which we will be reading on the flight, don't worry. In fact, right there, you might have noticed someone from Genis Royal Academy. One of the great things about the Trails series and its sequels is that you'll get to return to a lot of earlier places, and yes, that does mean a lot of reused assets, but it also means you get to see how those places have changed since the events of the last game, and just what's going on in the lives of all of the people in the region.